What's going on, people? Today I'm back with another drawing review of Hulk. Now, I completed this one yesterday. I have done another Hulk drawing before, and but when I look back at it now, it's not that great. So I wanted to redeem myself and see, with new things I've learned, I wanted to see if I could create something that looked a lot better than what the last one I drew. So there's a few things I want to talk about with these first few layers. The first thing I want to discuss is okay, cool. Yeah, the first thing I want to discuss is this arm. One of the things that I wish I would have done is maybe bring the arm like here, then bring the elbow like here, and then have like a bicep underneath. And I think it would have separated it from this arm then a little bit. I think it would have separated it from this arm because they're both kind of on the same level. And realistically, raising this arm, so basically that's the elbow there, that's the bicep here, or even more different would have been to maybe bring the fist here with the well, that's the hand, and then maybe the biceps here somewhere with the forearm here with the shoulder there. No, it's not big enough, but I can just extend it if I wanted to, just so it showed some difference between the two arms. Again, I don't have much of an issue with it because he is falling, right? He's going downwards, so I don't have an issue with the arm. I just wish I would have showed a more dynamic shot of this arm compared to what it looks like now. But again, it looks fine. It looks fine. You can see, so this, like this here, this here, this here, right, this here, I don't know whether it's supposed to be smoke or clouds. I think you can kind of say clouds. Now you can see some areas here right here. This does not look like a cloud river right here, and the reason being is because I was drawing them very stiff initially. So I was drawing them like this. This is so stiff compared to kind of just letting my hand just kind of just guide me wherever I wanted to go from. And that's how I ended up with this one. So this one here looks better than this one, right? So that's really all I want to talk about in this drawing, in this part of the drawing. And this is this is like the foundations of the drawing. There's not much to talk about here. So let's get into the more interesting part, which is the shading. Now you can see here in the inking part that it looks quite cool, at least to me it does anyway, especially comparing it to where I was a few months ago regarding shading, right, and the inking stuff. So if I break it down into parts, right, so let me discuss the right leg first. There's parts of it I like and parts of it I don't like. The whole knee part, I'm pretty happy with it. So when I got to this leg, I ended up rushing a lot of it because I was kind of frustrated, tired, whatever. And so some sections are really rushed, and I'll go over those in a second, but this is one where it just doesn't look great. And the reason I can tell it doesn't look great is because I don't know what I'm looking at. You see, like with this foot here, you can see it looks like a foot. You kind of, at least to me anyway, because I can see that, you kind of get the feeling that it is a foot, right? But with this though, if you just take in the shade here, I don't know what part of the leg that is supposed to be. So again, to fix this, it would have just meant going way slower. The slower I go, I find, the better the inking looks. And especially since I have a lot of time, obviously, in regards to compared to like a real like comic book artist that would have to get pages done very, very fast. So taking my time in this section would have really helped to trying to figure out what exactly is it I'm trying to shade, what exactly is it that's in the dark. Because the way I had it was that the light was coming around here, coming over his shoulder here, and coming like around his waist here. If that's the case, this is not going to be as dark as I have it, right? This whole area is not going to be as dark as I have it. So fixing that would have been like a huge thing to fix this leg to me, right? To fix this leg here. Outside of the leg, I don't really have an issue with this whole dark spot here. It's a little bit like straight line, and there's no way a leg or any part of the human anatomy is going to be completely straight. There's going to be some deviation here and there. So I think some uh either extending the shade here or I don't know, or taking away some of the shade here would have just made it look a little bit less, well, flat basically. What else am I looking at here? So again, I'm pretty happy with this foot. Again, it looks like a foot. I'm pretty happy with it, right? Although I did rush it, but I got lucky with that, right? Let me see what else. This whole section here, it's a little bit messy regarding shade. And to be fair, I'm mainly looking at underneath the shorts. I'm looking at the actual leg part. These areas here, it's a little bit messy, but because it's under the shorts and there's not much of it, I can kind of get away with it. But again, taking it slow would have really helped. What would have also really helped as well, I can just show you this really quickly. What would have really helped as well is to show some ripples in the shorts, because obviously he's falling down, so there's going to be a lot of wind going up and through his shorts, creating ripples within the shorts, right? So one thing I could have done is to maybe just create some black lines here and maybe just do it even more, just to show, right, like that there is something there, you know. And I could have done it here as well, whatever. Well, that one doesn't look too good, but you see what I'm saying though. It would have opened it up a little bit. So that's that. And then there's the, let's 1 second. And then there's this arm. So the hand I'm pretty happy with. It looks fine. Okay, the hand I'm happy with. It looks fine. Although I probably could have shaded off more of this area here, you know, because how exactly is light hitting this area here? It doesn't really make much sense. So I probably could have shaded off this entire area here. But again, going back to this arm though, again, you can see certain parts that I rushed. If realistically, in my mind, this whole area here is rushed regarding the shading, because again, I don't know what part of the arm I'm looking at. I don't know how there's shade in this section. I don't know how that works in conjunction to how a real arm looks. Now you have to realize I was going based off of these blue outlines here that I drew. Let me just reduce the get rid of this. So I'm going based off these blue outlines I drew for where the muscles would be, so I know roughly where the shade would go. So if I add back the inking, you can see that the idea I have is that there's going to be some shade here, but again, I think this area, actually, 1 second. I think this area is too thick. Thinning it down would have been a lot better. And I think this area here is just too simplistic. Again, I was rushing this part, so again, taking it slow would have really helped in that area. What else? So yeah, the head, I didn't want to go too much on it. I just kind of shaded off some areas here, as you can see, shaded off underneath the eyebrow, shaded off just underneath the eye where the tip of the eye socket would be, shaded off just around his nose here, as you can see here, shaded off around his mouth here, but I don't really know. I kind of struggled with this area, to be honest, because I didn't really know what I wanted to put there, but I think I got away with it. Yeah, so that's the head. I actually quite like the head, to be fair. This whole torso area, I am really happy with it. The only thing about this torso area that I don't like is the fact that, if you think about it, this here is where again, I don't know what you would call this, but I'm gonna call it the breast line for now. This breast line would create shade for this entire area here. So instead of there being light here and light here, whatnot, it would be a lot darker. This area would be a lot darker, and I think it would have looked a little bit more consistent. Obviously, because he's jumping, his breast line again is going like upwards, right? And going into the shoulder. Whereas normally, obviously, if he had his arms downwards, it would just be like straight like this for the most part, right? So because of that, I had to consider, when I was inking this area here, I had to consider that his muscles needed to look like they were being pulled upwards. And I think I managed to nail that. I think I managed to nail that, because they look like they're being pulled upwards because of the way he's dragging his arms upwards and whatnot, and the amount of muscles he has in this section here, and how much they're popping out. So I really like that. This shoulder here, I think, could have been done a little bit better. I don't think there needs to be as much shade in this section here. It would have fixed a lot. Well, it would have made it look better. This section of the arm here, I don't really have any issues with. It actually looks quite nice. Okay. This section here, it doesn't look consistent enough. Again, I needed to think about what I was shading, what I was inking, and I think making it connect in some ways would have helped it a little bit more, but I'm not too sure what I would have done, really, to be honest with that one. I'm not too sure what I would have done, to be honest. I think I would have just winged it and just seen what I would have come up with, and then just win with it from there. This hand I don't really have an issue with. Finger I don't really have an issue with. So again, the whole inking part, overall I quite like it, but there's definitely some parts, again, here, that I just don't really like at all. Okay, so let me move on to the next part, which is the cross hatching. So I'm just gonna go over the cross hatching very briefly. So there's parts I don't like. So again, when I'm considering cross hatching clothing, as you can see here, I'm not too sure what to do, and so I'm kind of guessing where some cross hatching would go here. I'm kind of just guessing, to be honest, and it looks a bit unstable, a little bit messy, a little bit shaky, even, because some of the lines don't even like follow. Some of the lines don't even like, they don't match. As you can see here, like this line kind of comes in like that, and then the other two kind of just follow the same trajectory. So it's really weird. Yeah, there's not much cross section on the foot there, so that's whatever. I think this area here looks okay, but I don't think I needed to go as long. I think I could have pulled it a little bit shorter, and it would have looked a lot better. This area needs to be a little bit more consistent, but I think it's not terrible though. But I'm not sure how I would make it look better, if I'm completely honest. These areas here, this is a little bit messy. So this area here is a little bit messy, man. I think what I should have just done is just completely just straightened it out like that, right? It's a little bit messy. This is fine, this is fine, this is kind of whatever, but it's fine. That's, again, I probably should have just straightened it out like that rather than having two little ones. So yeah, the knee area is fine. This is kind of messy. Like, I'm trying to show the contour of the edge of the calf, but it doesn't look like it. It looks, you can see the lines, they're not even like, what's the word I'm thinking of? They're not even like, they're not similar. They're kind of shaky. So this area needed to be fixed too. This arm area here, I don't even think I needed cross hatching here. It was just kind of, I don't even know what I was trying to do, to be honest. This area here is alright. This area here is kind of alright. This area here is fine. The hand's fine. Again, the torso area, so basically from here all the way here, I love all of this. Yeah, and the thing I love about it the most is that because it's going upwards, it kind of follows the same trajectory as him falling downwards, because obviously he's pulling his arms up, so all the muscles would go upwards. So because of that, the cross section going upwards also shares the same Because if I was to drag it downwards like this, it would kind of show, it would kind of have the opposite effect of what I'm trying to go for. So that's that. This shoulder area here, I don't think there needs to be any cross section here in this shoulder area realistically. Maybe some very, very few lines, but it's a bit messy. Let's go back. You can see I've done some cross section on the eyebrow here and here, on the face here, right here as well. And I think again it's simplistic, but it looks solid. The face overall looks pretty solid, right? This, so the thing is with this, right, and this is that they don't follow the same trajectory. This one's kind of going that way and this one's going this way. And because they're so close together, I think it would be better if they both went the same direction. So again, that's just scruffiness realistically. This is fine. That's kind of doubling over the lines. This is kind of messy. That's kind of alright. The hand's kind of messy too. Maybe I should have, like, what I could have done is let me just try this actually. What I could have done is just come down instead, maybe, I don't know, and that would have helped it. Yeah, that would have probably helped it. Let me just zoom in there so I can show you what I did. So obviously they're going in this direction and just come down. So it basically closes off the cross section, so it for the darker areas, and I think it would look a little bit more consistent that way. So yeah, overall cross section wise, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, apart from this leg though. Let me put that in red, sorry. Apart from this leg, I'm pretty happy with everything else. On the lighting side of things and the color side of things, I think things look fine. I think this is a little bit lazily done now. This is kind of fine. That's kind of fine, whatever. This is kind of fine. I tell you what I need to do actually. I need to look at how comic book artists do lighting when they've done color, when they've added color onto an image. Because I don't really understand where because obviously the light's hitting this way. I don't really understand where or even how the lighting would look in this section here. So that would really help actually. But again, overall the lighting just makes things pop in it. So again, you can see lighting on the bicep, sorry, on the pecs here, looks pretty good. Lighting here looks fine, here's fine, here's fine. Again, it's all pretty solid. So yeah, overall guys, I really like it. Definitely obviously some improvements needed to be made along the way, but overall not too bad. And listen, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for the next one, to be fair, I'm going to draw an entire like image from using the entire page. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to try and do as much detail in that image as possible, so we'll see what happens there. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.